What's up? I'm Ryan.
I'm Nash.
I'm Jamie.
And we are Hot Chelle Rae, and we are hanging out with Rob on Front Row Live.
I was not expecting this to happen, and let alone not in just 5 years. I was waiting for it to be like a 10, 15-year anniversary. Hot Chelle Rae, guys, they're back here. What's up, guys? How's it going?
Man, we are so happy to be finally putting out new music. It's been a minute.
It's been a long time.
Yeah.
It's been a long time. You guys celebrated 7 years of whatever last year, which is like crazy to think that it's already been 7 years.
Yeah, I mean, we put whatever out November of 2011.
Yeah.
Tonight was out like February that year. It doesn't feel like that much time has passed because we've been friends throughout the whole thing, and like we played little secret shows here and there and gone on vacations together.
Nice.
So the fact that like time has flown like it has, it's kind of mind blowing. But we're moving now, and we got songs coming out, and we're hyped.
That's crazy. So I Hate LA is the new single, drops this Friday.
Yes.
Talk to me about this track, and like, why did you guys choose this track in specifically to be that like reintroduction of Hot Chelle Rae?
Well, I think for us when we were writing, when you write songs for your job, it's hard to always be pulling from real life experiences. And at this particular time, in this band, there was some real life stuff happening, like with love and everything. And I went to Jamie one day and to Nash, and I was like, what would happen like if you broke up with somebody in the city you live in? I mean, I feel like you would hate that place like all the time. Like everything would remind you of that person. And we kind of just really pulled on some real experiences and arrived at the fact that it's really not the city that you hate. It's usually just the person that's living in the city with you. And so we kind of did that, and it just turned out, it feels the most like us, and we feel like for the first thing back after this long for our fans, feeling like you're coming to a Hot Chelle Rae show when you turn it on in your car is important to us.
That's awesome. Now, like, who is producing this single? I know the last album you guys dropped, whatever it was, Andrew Goldstein was a big part of it. So is he? Which did you guys know that I Like That? I Like It Like That was like his first ever plaque as a producer.
Yeah, we did know that.
Right?
Yeah.
We came across him on Twitter and like had heard some friends of ours in bands mention his name.
Yeah.
And we wrote I Like It Like That with him and two other guys, Dan Book and Alexi Masul, by like a washing machine in a garage and at night while we were making the rest of the album in like a big ass studio.
Yeah.
And it just had this magic being with them, and like I think 4 out of the songs on the record were just in that garage.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
With him a little bit. Andrew and Nash and Jamie and I, we've been bowling a lot together. So that's like we've been doing a lot of writing. But production wise, Nash did a ton of it. He produced I Hate LA with a friend of ours, and he did the bulk of a lot of the work that we've done for some of the upcoming tracks, and we've gotten to collaborate with some other producers, and it's going to have it's going to feel like us, but there's things that are going to push boundaries for us.
Right. So Nash, is this like a new venture for you, production, or did you always kind of do it low key?
Man, I've definitely done it since the last time we put music out, like a lot heavier than ever. But we always kind of produced stuff when we were coming up, just not that sounded that great. Right. So like I had to make it like a real job to like be good at that. When we, went on hiatus and kind of paused and did a bunch of other projects in the meantime. So the best thing about taking time off was we got to come back in, and we've all written like, they wrote like a whole album together. Man. I produced a bunch of stuff. We wrote for other people together. He wrote for like a commercial. Like we've gotten the chops up a lot as like professional songwriters. And this single, I Hate LA, is going to be the first song that like we wrote it as a band and no one else. It's all self-included. And then we brought a homie in that like, my parent and his parent went to high school together. Dang. So like we've known since he was born. And he wrote the like middle 8 rap section. Okay. And so it's really like all in the family, very, just kind of like organically us. Yeah. And it's not like we got sent to Max Martin's studio or whatever, as dope as he is. Like we just got to really vibe out on what we are.
So with this artist that kind of jumped in with you guys, like, is he also an artist, or is he just literally a family friend?
Yeah, I mean both, but like he's a really dope freestyler, and like he'll get turned up at parties and just black out and go.
Yeah. He like 128 bars nonstop. Like he's that kind of guy. Like he can rap like nobody we've ever seen. So
his name's Levi Miller. So like we hit him. We're like, yo, like kind of write a little third verse thing for us to put in, and we got in with him and tweaked it. And so the 4th writer we added is still like a really tight homie of ours.
Yeah. That's cool. So since you guys added a little bit of like freestyle, a little bit of rap in there, how did that change the drums? Like, I'm sure it's like more energy on the drums now.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot more hip hop elements to the drums, I would say now, just given where music has gone in the last 5 or so years. Yeah. We kind of had to up our game and kind of change our standard to get to where music currently is.
Right. Do you guys feel like this new sound of Hot Chelle Rae was just like a natural progression, or is it something you guys kind of had to like rediscover yourselves as musicians and artists?
It feels natural now. The first 10, 15 songs, I mean, it's like was kind of like trying to start a car for a second. You're like, what? I mean, we know what we sounded like. What do we sound like now? We wrote a bunch of songs, and you know, every time you write one that you kind of have this unanimous feeling, and the song kind of raises its hand and goes, this is you guys. Right. And we got lucky, and you know, we wrote a ton of songs, and you know, 5 or 6 over the last few months have really been like, this is your sound.
Damn.
Yeah.
So is this the kickstart for album number 3? Is that where you guys are at today, or?
Man, maybe. I mean, like, you tell me, what is an album these days?
That's true. That's a great point, especially nowadays.
Yeah, we're in love with the fact that we can make a song a month, a song a week, a song every 2 months, whatever it is, and give it to fans and have people constantly able to hear some new stuff.
Right.
Instead of being like, here's 10 songs, see you in 2 years.
Right.
Like, we want to keep evolving and like keep being inspired, and when we're inspired, be able to drop it.
Right.
We're gonna release enough music that it's gonna feel like there's an album 3 out there.
So this is like for sure like a return. Like this is not just like a one-off thing. Like you guys are back.
No, this is not a reunion for, you know, for just a temporary thing. We're digging in.
Yeah.
So.
Awesome. Now, going back to whatever, you know, that I feel like that record was monumental for you guys. Like, how did that record impact your careers? And do you guys feel like that record was what opened the doors to go on tours like Taylor Swift, for example, or like going out to bigger tours that you guys did?
Big time.
Like, well, more important than like opening for the people we opened for, like we had Bieber and Taylor and Demi in like 1 year, I think.
It's crazy.
I feel like the biggest change that whatever brought, I want to see if Jamie says what I think he's going to say.
Why would you do this to me?
Most life-changing thing that having a hit made happen.
Well, I don't, so please tell me.
It's having people at the shows.
Well, what is?
The bus. Oh, dude.
You can't forget the bus, man. You went.
Not driving ourselves around in a van. I was like,
I used to sit around while we were in a van and just literally look at pictures on websites of buses and dream of what that would be like. So that definitely was a life changer for us.
And also having fans at shows was a pretty big deal.
I'm sure it was hard in the beginning. Like,
It was. You kind of get PTSD. You play so many shows for nobody, and then whatever comes out, and everyone thinks you're an overnight success, and they don't see the 6 years you're in the van, and you go to a show that's like we had a show sold out in New Zealand.
Yeah.
And I remember him being like, I wonder if anyone's gonna show up.
Like, this venue's really big. Like,
and lo and behold, of course, the fans come through. So
yeah, that's cool. Now, speaking of shows, like this show tonight, like I haven't really heard it other than, you know, these private emails. Like, so is that what you guys are gonna do? This is the new generation of Hot Chelle Rae. It's gonna be secret shows.
I mean, the way we did this first show back is definitely like it's closed. It's like if we didn't hit them up, they don't know about it.
Right.
But it's LA, so we know too many people as is.
That's
like
true.
I don't know how many people are on this guest list, but the first 2 or 3 pages got a little overwhelming, and the font's small.
We did do a giveaway for fans as well.
Yeah,
so the first 10 people that replied to us with the song being pre-saved are going to get a +1 tonight to come to the show. So yeah.
So, you know, now that the song's about to drop Friday, what's the biggest challenge that you guys have faced so far as you know, coming back and creating new music all over again?
Biggest challenge that we faced making new music, I would say, well, for me personally, I had never written before with the band, so just getting into the groove of what it was like to write music with them and kind of feel out that process was totally new for me. I don't know. What do you think?
No, I think that's definitely a challenge. And I think a challenge for us is like, you know, like really like reconnecting with people and like, you know, like it's been a long time since we made music, and we're so grateful and gracious that people are like waiting in the wings for music. Right. And it's our job to like you really reconnect with them. And I think it's not been necessarily challenging, but it's been something that's like, you know, you got to jump back in easy and you know, really try to reconnect.
Right. Anything else for you, Nash?
Man, I think that we wanted to do this, you know, the second round, whatever you want to call it, our way, and start, you know, on our own and make this music for our fans and make the stuff we love. And so doing that, we're doing it without a label. Yeah. And that includes so many more things than we knew. Yeah. Like, we're like, okay, so we have to put this person in place and this person. Yeah. We got to get like 20 different team members. And the biggest challenge this week has been trying to get out of bed when you got 4 hours of like Instagram replies to make happen. And the fans have been re-engaging, blowing that up. Yeah. And we're straight up like in bed texting each other like, yo, have you gotten to move yet? Or are you still replying to stuff? And it's amazing to see people loving what we're dropping and loving like the teasers and the clips. Right. And, you know, we're hyped for them to all like listen to the new music.
Sick. Well, I'm excited for you guys. Thank you so much for coming back. Thanks for letting me come crash for a little bit. You guys be sure to check out Hot Chelle Rae. They are back. New single I Hit LA is probably out now by the time you're watching this. So thanks for watching on Front Row Live.